A staggering 18 wickets have fallen in Durban today, and guess what? The match, or the day I should say, is still not done between South Africa and Sri Lanka. We're talking about the first test match taking place between the two sides, and Sri Lanka have seen a new low in their test cricket history, courtesy the man that you see on your screen right now, and that is Marco Jansen. 7 wickets, absolutely ripped through the Sri Lankan batting order, had no clue whatsoever of what the ball was doing. Didn't take a lot of time. In less than 15 overs, just around that much time, in fact, is what South Africa needed to clean up Sri Lanka, and that has meant that a few records have gotten broken, and for a reason I said that they've touched a new low in Test cricket. We've got some numbers to give you a complete and a holistic view of what this means for Sri Lankan cricket and for the kind of high that South African cricket have sort of touched over here in Durban. Let's quickly tell you about that, and let's first begin with what it means for Test cricket. Now, we've seen a 36 all out in recent times, we've seen a 46 all out in recent times, but guess what? Sri Lanka still don't feature in the top 10 as far as the lowest scores overall in Test cricket is concerned. India's, by the way, if you're looking for India in this list, India do feature in this list on the 7th number. The 12th spot is where Sri Lanka find themselves after their first innings against South Africa. 42 all out is where it takes them to the 12th slot. The first slot, as you see, is being occupied by New Zealand. 26 all out for them. The next 3 spots, all of them occupied by South Africa, and it came against England, all of those. India, like I said, happened to be on the 7th spot, and I'm talking about the 36 all out against Australia in Adelaide in 2020. Now, that's the one thing that I wanted to tell you about. Let's go a step further and tell you where is it that Sri Lanka stand with this total as far as Test cricket is concerned for them. Now, this is the list of the lowest totals in Test for Sri Lanka, and 42 all out is their lowest total, and it's come at Durban, as I just told you there. And let's now talk about the lowest totals in South Africa. Where does 42 all out of Sri Lanka rank? Now, that also is the lowest total ever recorded by any side in South Africa. The previous before this was 45 by New Zealand, which was in Cape Town 2013. So while we've given you some numbers about it, let's tell you what this means as far as the World Test Championship is concerned, the World Test Championship cycle is concerned. Now, we know that India have some interest here as well, because South Africa are also gunning for a place in the World Test Championship final. Now, this win for South Africa has strengthened their case of making it to the finals of the World Test Championship. That's point number 1. Point number 2 being that it doesn't really change much for India. This is something, when we were doing the math, this was being accounted for, and doesn't change much for this Indian team, who still need to beat Australia comprehensively. It's a good start for India by winning the Perth Test. However, going forward, you need India to either make it 4-0, 5-0, perhaps a 4-1 could also do the deal for India, but for that you need to be dependent on what's happening in South Africa. There is one more test match that South Africa have to play against Sri Lanka. They also play 2 matches after that against Pakistan, which is why we've gone ahead with the word comprehensively over here, because there's still a lot of permutation combinations that need to be taken into consideration. So not a scoreline, but however, when we do use that word for you over here, we do mean that India still need a 4-zip or a 4-1, something on those lines, for India to seal a place in the World Test Championship final. So a new low for Sri Lankan cricket. It's the lowest total ever recorded in Test cricket on South African soil. Also, it's the lowest total for Sri Lanka as a Test playing nation as well. Wickets continue to tumble. There's still some action left in Durban. 18 wickets have fallen already. Sri Lanka 225 odd runs behind at the time of us doing this video for you, but lots of work to be done for Sri Lanka if they are to pull off a mere miracle in Durban.